House to Home, brought to you by Remax Diamond Realty.
All right, everybody, Hafa Day, and welcome back to the show. We want to tell you now about little investments you can make to your home, your apartment building, whatever property you have that go a long, long way and greatly improve the value of whatever you own. Liz and Gina are here. I should say Gina and Liz.
I know, I just realized I'm on the wrong
You
chair.
guys did a whole switcheroo for 2017.
It's the new year, yeah.
Well, it's nice to be closer to you by maybe like 2 feet, Gina.
2 feet,
So let's go ahead and start with you. So what are some things, like if I either own a home or I rent out my place or I'm a property manager, little investments I can make, maybe like CCTVs or stuff like that, that actually do make a difference towards the value of your property?
Yeah, those types of improvements definitely make a difference. And for me, making a difference is something that would really entice a buyer, something that draws their attention, something that's sought after. So right now, big items are like granite countertops are big improvement items that really add value because they're high on the desirability scale with buyers. CCTVs, of course, that adds a lot of value.
How about stainless steel refrigerators?
Yeah, stainless steel appliances
Those do
in
make
general,
a difference.
Absolutely.
It's not just aesthetic. Those actually do increase the value.
No, it really does because it's a higher demand item for buyers. So if that particular item is sought after by buyers, then of course demand goes up. And if demand goes up, that increases value. So you're absolutely right. Plus, they tend to be more higher priced, those types of items. So of course the appraiser would give you better value for them. And rightly so, they cost more to put in.
Well, Liz, we've talked about this on this segment in the past, like installing things like pools or circular staircases or, fancy types of architecture and everything that not only add to, again, its cosmetic value, but also can affect the value of the property. So what are some other things?
It does, but just remember, you want to stick to sustainable design. So if a spiral staircase rocks your boat and you put it in there, but it doesn't flow well with the rest of the house, you have to be careful that your design can withstand the years. Because you might live in a home for 10 years, and 10 years later, okay, you're ready to sell. So whatever you put in there, you don't want the design to be quirky. You want it to flow well. Your tiles have to flow. So usually when we go into a home, in terms of value, we look at the layout of the property, of the house. Your energy efficient air conditioners, like the inverter types, that helps. Right now, a lot of the families are doing energy efficient. They're hooking up, they're signing contracts to hook up to save on their power, solar. And then they ask, well, what's your power bill like? So, I mean, one house that we listed, the power bill was only $13. And that was because they were hooked up to a solar panel.
A lot of people have water tanks these days, too.
And water tanks. So there's a number of items. And not only that, when you're doing energy efficient, some of these, the federal government has some programs where they would rebate some of your expenses. But an appraiser will go through the home and they start to price things. Now, bear in mind, if you put in a brand new air conditioner and you're saying, well, I want full value, an appraiser does not normally give you the full value. So for example, if you put something in for $500 or $1,000 and you're expecting on the appraisal, it'll show $1,000. Not necessarily so. So an appraiser will look at it, they'll assign a value, but not the full amount. So they have their way of doing it. I mean, if you ask me, yes, give me my $1,000 value for that particular item, but the appraisers have a different system that they follow. They have their own process.
Okay, so Gina, so what's a can't miss, can't lose item that some people can add very simply to their property and everything like that and affect its price?
It really enhances value.
Yeah, we talked about CCTVs and, that's security things, I would think.
Well, see, security things are of value, but if I'm thinking about what do I need to do to really, so adding value is more about what is going to entice a buyer to my property, right? And yes, security systems are important, but are they more important than, say, a kitchen?
A kitchen, yes.
A bathroom? Probably not. If I had to rate it, I'd say spend your money in your kitchen first.
Okay.
Your bathroom second, and maybe the security system after a really good paint job, maybe the security system.
I've always wanted to put in one of those doggy doors.
Yeah.
That may affect
maybe
what,
that
$5 up.
maybe that'll be 5th on my list.
Right. But if they don't have a pet,
Yeah, exactly. See,
Yeah.
and that's a good example that of yes, you can customize things, but if we're talking about value, it's only because you're thinking about selling. My husband and I always have this conversation that our house is worth nothing. And he says, why do you say that? Because I'm never going to sell it, so it's worth nothing. It's never going to get sold, so what is it worth? Nothing. So if you're talking about value, you're talking about what is it worth to someone else. And you've got to start thinking along those lines if you're making improvements. And the other thing that I'd like to share is if you're going to spend the money, keep all the receipts and make a list. Because when you're ready to sell, you're not going to remember everything. And I have a good example. You could spend $1,000 to put a split AC in, or you can spend $4,000 to put it in. And even though the appraiser can't give you the whole value, if you show them the receipt, they will give you more than $1,000 value if you spent $4,000 to put it in. It's not all created equal.
All right. Well, that is amazing information. Thank you so much, both of you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Please stay tuned, everyone. We are back after this.